TV off.
March 10th, 2025, a day that started with a supposed act of compassion and ended with a felony booking sheet. One woman claimed she was racing to be by a patient's side in their final moments. But if that were true, she picked the most suspicious way to show it, by flying down I-540 like the Grim Reaper was chasing her. The Arkansas State Police weren't buying the Good Samaritan routine. Just when it looked like this might drag on for miles, our trooper stepped up to stop the madness. With timing sharper than a scalpel, he made his move, but what happened next left no doubt this wasn't just about speeding.
TV off.
Once in cuffs, the suspect Hampton Higgins offered a tearful explanation about a dying patient and an urgent call from her job. But those tears dried up quickly once officers found the pink and silver boxes packed with weed pills and stacks of cash. Despite a brief detour to the hospital after jail, staff refused her. She was eventually booked for felony fleeing drug possession with intent and reckless driving. A reminder that sometimes what looks like empathy on the surface hides a whole lot of criminal baggage. If you thought this chase was intense, wait until you see what's coming next. Click over to the next video and see how quickly things can spiral out of control. Appreciate you being here. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already.
Around 10:15 p.m. on October 16th, 2025, officers were searching for a previously reported stolen U-Haul truck. Trooper Ruiz located the vehicle a short time later. When he activated his emergency lights, the driver refused to pull over and continued moving at a slow pace.
Riverside Park Road on Orange Lane, headed westbound, 45 miles an hour.
Report call, you're refusing to pull over 45 miles an hour at your turnpike.
Hey, you better pull over, I'm gonna hit you. I am going to hit you. You better pull over right now, or I'll hit you. You got the head up there over my head. You better pull over. You're going to get fitted. You gotta pull over.
1595. Copy the speed of traffic.
45 miles per hour. Still westbound. Approaching Magnolia Home Road.
I can't reach 1384 and you're going to hold 530. You can take primary.
To prevent the truck from reaching a residential area and creating a greater hazard, officers decided to end the pursuit with a pit maneuver. Trooper Ruiz moved into position and struck the right rear corner of the U-Haul, but the impact wasn't enough to bring the vehicle to a stop. few minutes later, Trooper Lucas moved up and executed a precise pit maneuver, spinning the U-Haul clockwise and stopping it on the grassy median. The driver immediately jumped out and fled on foot but was caught nearby. The suspect refused to provide any information during the arrest.
Late in the evening on February 20th, 2021, Trooper Zachary Walker of the Georgia State Patrol noticed a white Audi sedan speeding north on the Harry S. Truman Parkway near Savannah. When he attempted to pull it over, the driver briefly stopped before suddenly taking off down the exit ramp.
42 Bravo 1.
42 Bravo 1, guys.
Just make contact with him at 56, coming up to 52nd now.
Ready to 201, I'm coming out on the intersection. She's not stopped here. Yeah, there's one man here in front of me as well.
Just make contact with him on, 10-12, hold on. Make contact with him on the right. He's right next here.
When the pursuit finally came to an end, the driver, identified as 22-year-old Devontae Hankerson of South Carolina, was taken into custody after attempting to run from the wrecked Audi. His passenger, Tori Hawes, told troopers she had been terrified during the chase. Hankerson admitted to smoking marijuana earlier and was charged with multiple offenses, including fleeing possession of narcotics and driving under the influence.
On December 9, 2023, Kent County deputies located a stolen Dodge Durango at the Meyer on 17 Mile Road. Deputy Ziemkowski attempted a traffic stop, but the driver fled. The deputy pursued and immediately notified dispatch.
Any day for a suspect?
Back to the gas station, 17 miles an hour. Coming back out to 17 mile. Looks like we're gonna go towards the highway. Thanks, man. We're right behind right now.
Heavy ramping on southbound. Heavy 42 taking over. And this for 4140 you're behind him. You're going to take over the pursuit traffic.
Traffic open, 3098.
The suspect initially drove at speeds between 50 to 70 miles per hour on rain-slick roads. The deputy maintained a safe distance while awaiting backup units.
Central 6 Montana responding.
Copy, attempting a pit.
I'm with him. 3-5 behind him.
Copy.
The chase continued for several more minutes until the suspect's vehicle began to slow. A pit maneuver was attempted, nearly causing the vehicle to flip, but the driver regained control and continued to flee.
Copy, it's going back northbound.
Good pit, good pit. We're gonna get him blocked in.
Copy, getting him locked in.
Hands up! Put your hands up!
We're gonna get him blocked in.
Copy, getting him locked in.
It was late afternoon on November 28, 2023, when Trooper Garrett Bird was rolling east on Interstate 40. His focus was on the Hernando de Soto Bridge, where other officers were tied up on a separate welfare call. But before he could even reach them, a flash of white in the passing lane pulled his eyes to the mirror. A Chevrolet Impala flying well over 90 miles per hour, carving through traffic like it owned the road. In an instant, the welfare call became secondary because this driver had just invited a new kind of trouble.
TBI on the bridge. TBI, TBI, TBI.
That driver was 36-year-old Michael Marquis McCall, and his poor decisions piled up quickly a blood alcohol concentration well above the legal limit, an open beer, can still sloshing with liquid no insurance, and not even wearing his seatbelt properly. He was hit with charges ranging from felony fleeing to DWI and reckless driving. In the end, the bridge became the dividing line. One side was freedom, the other was jail, and McCall crossed it in the worst possible way.
At approximately 6:30 p.m. on May 14, 2024, Trooper Robbins was patrolling West Highway 70 near Majestic Lodge Road when he spotted a gray Range Rover with spray-painted body panels heading westbound. A computer check showed the SUV was using a fake license plate. Trooper Robbins pulled onto Highway 70 and quickly caught up to the vehicle. As soon as he moved in behind it and activated his emergency lights, the driver hit the gas and tried to flee. Robbins immediately notified Troop K, giving updates on the vehicle's location and direction of travel. The pursuit lasted just over 2 minutes before Trooper Robbins executed a precise pit maneuver, sending the suspect's Range Rover off the roadway and momentarily airborne before it came to a stop. The driver was unable to exit because the door had been damaged in the crash, and Trooper Robbins maintained control of the scene until EMS arrived. The driver, identified as Haley Hollingsworth, was transported to St. Vincent's Hospital for evaluation. Investigators later confirmed she had multiple active warrants out of Garland County and the Hot Springs Police Department, along with a pending warrant in Oklahoma. Her driver's license was also suspended.
Miles an hour when it passed me.
On June 20th, 2024, the Florida Turnpike became the stage for a high-stakes encounter between a suspicious Mercedes and a sharp-eyed trooper. The driver, later identified as Derek Danavon Taylor Jr., decided he wasn't going to pull over. Within seconds, that calm afternoon turned chaotic. The white Mercedes darted across lanes using the shoulder like a getaway path. From that moment on, the chase wasn't about a traffic stop anymore. It was about keeping reckless speed from turning deadly. When the dust finally settled, Taylor and his passenger William Wade Woods were pulled from the wrecked Mercedes and faced a laundry list of charges, from cocaine and MDMA to marijuana and oxycodone. The car's interior told the rest of the story. Taylor's decision to run only stacked his legal troubles higher, turning what could have been a simple citation into a felony nightmare. Sometimes the worst damage isn't from the crash, it's from the choices made before it ever began.
At about 3:30 a.m. on April 17, 2022, along a dark stretch of U.S. Highway 301 in Dade City, a 49-year-old woman walking on the grassy shoulder was struck and killed by a hit-and-run driver. The impact was so violent that her body was severed, leaving investigators stunned. As some officers worked the crash scene and others searched for the fleeing vehicle, a silver 2005 Chevy pickup suddenly sped toward the area. Ignoring police commands, the driver ran over the victim's severed legs and fled the scene, forcing officers into a high-speed pursuit. The pursuit reached speeds of over 100 miles per hour. It took officers nearly 5 minutes to catch up to the suspect, during which a Star Chase tracking device was successfully deployed. As the vehicle began to slow, Officer Lucas moved into the lead position, ready to perform a pit maneuver at the first opportunity.
I'm working on your location now.
When the vehicle returned to the main road, Officer Lucas seized the opportunity and executed a pit maneuver, sending both vehicles off the roadway and bringing the chase to an end. Officers quickly surrounded the suspect's car and took the occupants into custody. The driver, 23-year-old Andrew Crumman, and his cousin, who was a passenger, were arrested. The passenger was later released after being found not involved. Crumman faces multiple charges, including driving under the influence, aggravated assault on a law enforcement officer, fleeing and eluding, and false imprisonment. It was his 8th arrest in less than 4 years in Pasco County. Around 1 a.m. on December 31, 2021, Officer First Class Zachary Walker was stopped at a red light on Montgomery Street at Durango Avenue when he saw a black Lexus heading west on Durango run the red light. Walker turned west to follow, and the Lexus sped off before turning north on Mildred Street. When Walker activated his emergency lights, the Lexus turned west on Giles Avenue, accelerating and initiating a pursuit.
All units, 10-3, 10-33, 209,
During the chase, the Lexus exceeded 100 miles per hour, recklessly running multiple stop signs and red lights while ignoring all other traffic laws. The driver repeatedly changed direction in an attempt to shake the pursuing officer. Near Bull Street, the Lexus ran a stop sign and crossed into the path of a southbound Toyota Prius, which struck the driver's side. The impact spun the Lexus, causing it to roll several times before coming to rest upside down in a vacant lot on East 56th Street. Sergeant Walker, unable to see inside, approached with his weapon drawn as Sergeant Dustin Stone provided cover. The driver crawled to the rear of the vehicle and complied with commands.
10-4, 10-4.
Turn to east on the 56 to the next intersection has a stop sign. You good? Put your hand!
Yeah. No.
What you run for? Just gonna stop you for running the red light.
4168, corrected all units, 1039.
You got anything that's gonna poke and stick me? No.
Somebody else, go to Milton and let me handle that.
A search of the driver revealed $20,135 in mixed denominations in his front pocket. He was identified as Jacory Rivers. Sergeant Walker noted Rivers' watery eyes and the odor of marijuana. A records check showed Rivers was a convicted felon. No serious injuries were reported in the crash.
You got a bag?
Traffic was moving steady through Craighead County on October 3rd, 2024, until a tan SUV ripped past, doing 90 in a 60-mile zone. Corporal Todd Harris spun around and hit his siren only to watch the driver push even harder, a choice that would set off one of the most intense pursuits of the fall.
I go behind you, he's swerving towards you.
Looking for that Charger. And before we get to Jungle.
So I'm Tom John 34 Edward, ATJ 34E. Gray Chevy Equinox.
11 Jonesboro, I'm secondary. 42, I'll call it. Driving in oncoming traffic. TBI, TBI. Roll over, start 16. TBI. And
Roll over, start 16. Put it on the foot, put it on the foot. Grass on the ground.
When it was over Rashun Dimon, Gary was treated for minor injuries before being booked into the Craighead County Detention Center. He now faces felony fleeing and second-degree battery with a $75,000 cash-only bond, keeping him behind bars. Trooper Drum, who sustained facial cuts during the crash, was released from the hospital later that day. The incident left no fatalities, but plenty of reminders about the thin line between control and catastrophe.
At about 3:30 p.m., Sergeant Hyland was patrolling near Roosevelt Road and University Avenue when he spotted a gray 2010 Jeep Patriot displaying a fictitious license plate traveling westbound on Colonel Glenn Road. Sergeant Hyland attempted a traffic stop, but the vehicle immediately fled west onto Highway 36.
Patriot, Boyd Davis Victor, 84 Nora. So the, go ahead, show me 1037.
Patriot, 1052 from
36th Street.
A pit maneuver was executed at the intersection of Highway 36 and Romine Road. After the vehicle was disabled, the driver, identified as Octavius Shavers, and two passengers jumped out and fled on foot while the Jeep was still moving. Sergeant Hyland pursued on foot and deployed a taser, successfully achieving neuromuscular incapacitation of Shavers. Shavers was taken into custody without further incident. At around 3:20 p.m. on Friday, October 24th, 2025, police and emergency crews responded to a traffic crash near Novi Road and 10 Mile Road. Among those injured was 33-year-old Changlin Lee, one of the drivers involved. As MedStar ambulance personnel treated several patients, including Lee, near the back of an ambulance, Lee suddenly jumped into the driver's seat and sped away from the crash scene, leaving first responders stunned. At the time, a paramedic and a patient were still inside the ambulance. Officers quickly initiated a pursuit, while MedStar used GPS tracking to relay the vehicle's location to law enforcement.
Units, be advised, there's a patient inside the MedStar unit. It's an Asian male driving.
Yeah, your car is trying to pursue right now. Everybody else, just position yourself at different points.
Radio notified.
Receive notifying Marcel approaching back. 40 guys.
It's into the construction zone on Novi, south of 9.
Receive in construction zone.
Radio 31, if you have me.
Confirm.
Ready, can we get an update?
Go again.
Can we get an update?
That's about 8 Mile approaching center.
My friend 8 Mile approaching center. Go west on 9 Mile. Copy.
If there's anyone near back, if they can head south, I'm back.
I'll do that.
He's got a blown rear tire on the passenger side.
Reach through center.
Through center. Continuing westbound 8 Mile.
Right behind it.
Just past Green Ridge Drive. Continuing westbound.
I got the radio, 30. Great from 40, we're still westbound on 8. 2 miles per hour.
Westbound on 8, 72 miles per hour.
Still westbound, passing my half for him. Collision at 8 and back, collision at 8 and back.
Collision 8 and back.
Did you say collision at 8 and back?
Affirmative, collision 8 and back. The Asian male driver left the vehicle. Flash unit ready. 1730, can you repeat?